Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanitam Sang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Visakhanitam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rame Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and welcome to the Saturday morning Bhagavad Gita, as it is, reading and discussion with the Prabhupada Disciples Association and the Hare Krishna Society. I was reading some chats here, very interesting. Yeah, many are called and few are chosen, it appears. There are a lot of people that are given opportunity to take up Krishna consciousness with some seriousness. But it requires a commitment. And a lot of people don't have the time. No. And we're going to read about that today. The time factor in the prayers of Muchakunda to Krishna. Very straightforward and philosophically revealing. Because nowadays, a lot of the preaching that's done in ISKCON, the ISKCON group, is called bridge preaching. Have you heard of that? Do you know what that means, Vijay Pandit? Bridge preaching? I'll give the answer. I'm going to be like one of our members. I'll ask the question and give our own answer. Well, bridge preaching, some of the symptoms of bridge preaching, like if you see people on online that are doing this bridge preaching business, guru business basically, one thing you'll notice, I saw a clip this morning of one of our godbrothers bridge preaching. Now, what did I notice in his speech? Well, first of all, he didn't mention Krishna. How about that? Didn't even mention Krishna, because there's a paranoia. Oh, if I say Hare Krishna or if I say Krishna, people will get turned off. Bridge preaching. Didn't mention Krishna. And then the second thing that I noticed in the conversation, and all of you that are listening to this program or watching it on the screen, please be conscious of these things that are going on in the name of preaching. Prabhupada said, don't change anything. It's amazing when you hear Prabhupada preach, you see him constantly mentioning Krishna, Arjuna, the philosophy and Shastra. No bridge preaching. It's straightforward, direct explanation of Krishna and the purpose of life. The second thing with these bridge preaching, I said they don't mention Krishna, no. And they don't mention Prabhupada, very interestingly. In other words, they're more mentioning their mental speculation or mental concoction. I, this, me, like that. And you'll notice it's deleted from the dialogue consciously. It's called misleading. It's part of what we call fake news, spiritual news, fake news. They don't mention Krishna. They don't mention Prabhupada. Listen to this one. They don't mention the Hare Krishna mantra, because they don't want people to get turned off. Oh, those are the Krishnas. And they're afraid. Oh, let's just get them to come to our festival, let's say. And they can get free food. Well, everybody knows that if you offer a free lunch, will people show up? If somebody comes up to you, say, let me buy you lunch. What are you going to do? Say yes or no? Well, it depends. For us, no. No, thank you. Free lunch doesn't buy us. But for a lot of people, it does. So they offer a free lunch. Yeah, come to our festival. There'll be a free lunch. And you can have a free show. There'll be dancing. Oh, really? And there'll be singers. But no mention of Krishna, no mention of Prabhupada, and no mention of the Hare Krishna mantra. What else is bridge preaching characterized with? They don't mention Lord Chaitanya. Oh, why? It'll be confusing for the ordinary person. So, this is how you dissect bridge preaching, Hakshin. When you hear it, you'll know. They don't mention Prabhupada, they don't mention Krishna, they don't mention Lord Chaitanya, and they don't mention the Hare Krishna mantra. They leave it all out. They may talk about themselves, however, So be aware of bridge preaching. It's a cover-up, it's misinformation, and it's not good. Second point that I wanted to mention was people that are following members of the Gaudiya Math. Yes. Because most critically, the Gaudiya Math look at who Srila Prabhupada is, and then they don't refer, here's the reason, they don't refer to Prabhupada as the bona fide representative of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. They don't. They conveniently leave it out. They have expressions, Yashoda, as you know. They call him Swami Maharaj. They still do it. This is, for us, this is offensive. And by the way, we're doing our Vyas Puja offerings. I've been editing mine all week and getting it ready for the deadline. I'm almost ready to submit it. So please remember that. But with these people from the Gaudiya Math, whether they're from India or from America, people that have been disappointed by the bogus guru system in ISKCON, so they go to the Gaudiya Math. Oh, I found a real guru here. Instead of taking shelter of Prabhupada in his Vani incarnation, which we're going to do this morning in our program, most definitely, they go ahead and read these other books. I saw this godbrother of ours, Jagat Guru. Do you remember him, Yashoda? He's passed away some years ago. I saw a talk with him, and he's saying, oh, you've got to read Sridhar Swami's Bhagavad Gita. He was promoting it. He wanted to take it to the GBC and tell them, you've got to get this Bhagavad Gita by Sridhar Swami. Completely crazy. This guy fell off the boat. Yeah, this is a boat. Prabhupada is the captain of the ship. And this guy jumped off into the ocean of material confusion. Big mistake. Here's the next thing with the Gaudiya Math. Although one of our members said, well, they read Prabhupada. They're not reading Prabhupada's books. No. They glance them. They may try to understand them. But unless you accept Prabhupada as your guru in the disciplic succession from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami, you're not going to be able to understand what he's trying to say to all of us because you're not connected. Guru means it's a link. Yoga is a link. You link yourself to Krishna through disciplic succession. But they don't accept Prabhupada as the bona fide representative. That's a mistake. And then they don't read Prabhupada's books. And then the third thing is they get initiated by a Gaudiya Math guru. I had a friend of mine in the movement. His name was Aranya Garba. I forget what his second initiation was, but I was in Mayapur in 1975, Yashoda, and I met him, and I found out that he had went and got it reinitiated by Lalit Prasad Thakur, who lived across, I'm going to say the street from the Mayapur temple on the river there. What was it? The Saraswati? What is the one that meets with the Ganges? There's two of them.
Jalangi.
Galangi. Yeah, okay, thank
Jalangi.
you. Jalangi. Okay, thanks. So I always refer to Yashoda for helping me. When I make a mistake, he can correct me. Jalangi, I remember going there actually quite a bit when I used to go to Mayapur. Instead of going to the Ganges River, which is said it's ominous in a way, it's very powerful. You could go to the Jalangi and swim there and get the mercy that way. But he went ahead, he went across the river, literally, and took initiation from Lalit Prasad Thakur. What a mistake. What a foolish mistake. You have a bona fide spiritual master, and you go and get initiated by somebody that isn't. So, Gaudiya Math, be careful. The reason people go to the Gaudiya Math is sentimentality. They're sentimental people. They go to the Gaudiya Math. They do bridge preaching. This is also. So understand the signs of these defects in their program, in what they do. Because everything has been changed by these people, and it's all sentimental. So they say, oh, we're following Krishna consciousness. Well, you change the mantras. Your work, everything kirtan is with some harmonium. Everything is a stage presentation. The prasadam is still boga. It's not offered properly in the disciplic succession. And these things, we're giving you a warning, everyone. Don't be involved with them. You'll waste your time. It's that simple. Because Prabhupada, he presented the highest philosophy for us, despite what they say in the Gaudiya Math. I have some of their books. I have a collection, Yashodanandana Prabhu, I got from one of my god sisters. And her sons have got involved with the Gaudiya Math, largely because of the disappointment of dealing with, they were originally initiated by Keith Ham, Kirtanananda. And when they saw the fiasco that he had created in New Vrindavan, they just gave it up. Look what happened to Jadharani. They beat her up. She was stuck. So she went to the Gaudiya Math. So many reasons for that. But when you read Prabhupada's books very carefully, you get a higher understanding of our philosophy. And we're going to go to that reading right now from the Krishna book, which has proven to be another exciting and very thrilling experience for your fallen self, Vishwakarma Das. Although I've been on a steady campaign of reading, it's a very interesting experience to see how it's ever fresh. It's ever fresh, it's dynamic. So you can read it over and over again, the books, and you'll always feel totally enlightened by Prabhupada's explanations. And I saw that quote that you sent me, Yashodanandana, where Prabhupada was encouraging us, yes, read my books. That's what you do. Then you'll be connected. That is as simple as it is. Because there's a transcendental experience available to all of us if we do that. Don't think you can just avoid reading. That's a mistake. The connection, the yoga connection is in the reading. And when I read this section to all of you right now, you're going to hear this and you're going to say, this is the absolute truth. So this is the prayers by Muchakunda to Lord Krishna. And we're at page 342 in the Krishna book. And Rupa's suffering from a fever, but he's here diligently doing this. Okay, we're not there. It ends with craziness. I thought I sent it to you. If you look there. Yet, in spite of being so absorbed in material thought, inevitable time, which is only a form of yourself, is always careful about its duty. I don't know, let me see, where are we? Up, go back up. Yet, there we are. Yet, in spite of being so absorbed in material thought, inevitable time, which is only a form of yourself, is always careful about its duty. And as soon as the allotted time is over, so this is talking about the living entity. When your time's up, you're done in this body. Your lordship immediately ends all the activities of our material dreams. As the time factor, you end all activities as the hungry black snake swiftly swallows up a small rat without any leniency. Do the action of cruel time, the royal body, which is always decorated with gold ornaments during life, and which moved on a chariot drawn by beautiful horses, or on the back of an elephant nicely decorated with golden ornaments, and which was advertised as the king of human society, that same royal body decomposes under the influence of inevitable time and becomes fit for being eaten by worms, insects, or being turned into ashes or the stool of an animal. Is that direct preaching or what, Rochisha Devi Dasi? Or is that, let's avoid telling the truth to people, which is what's going on in ISKCON? And I'm going to comment. I see a lot of these musicians, because I used to be a musician, I have some interest in that. I see them, how they're deteriorating right in front of us by the time factor. This Phil Collins from the band Genesis and himself, he can barely hold the drumsticks now. His legs are destroyed, and he looks extremely old. So right in front of your eyes, you see these movie stars deteriorating, like Al Pacino. He's in his 80s. You can't even tell it's him. It's just some kind of humped over old man. That's what happens. The beautiful body may be nice while in the living conditions, but after death, even the body of a king, like the King of America, is eaten by an animal, and therefore turns into stool, or is cremated in the crematorium and turned into ashes, or put in the earthly grave, which different kinds of worms and insects are produced out of. Turns into ashes. It's very interesting, Yashodanandana Prabhu. I was in Yotapek, and Paul's was cremated. Paul Gopal was cremated, and his sisters were there. And they decided, we're going to go out by the tree and we're going to spread the ashes on the tree. So I thought, well, I'll go out to stand there at this ceremony with them and, see what's going to happen. So the sisters have the ashes in their hand. And I walk up, and the lady, his sister, turns to me and says, "Here, have a handful of ashes." Have a handful of ashes? Are you kidding me? Here, take these ashes and spread my... No, thank you. So this goes on, but that's what it was, just ashes. The body becomes stool or food for insects and other things. My dear Lord, not only do we welcome under the full control of this inevitable time and death, but also while living in a different way. Full control. For example, I may be a powerful king, and yet when I come home after conquering the world, I become subjected to many material conditions. It may be that when I come back after being victorious, all subordinate kings come and offer their respects. But as soon as I enter into the inner section of my palace, I myself become an instrument in the hands of the queens, and for sense gratification, I have to fall down at the feet of woman. The material way of life is so complicated that before taking the enjoyment of material life, one has to work so hard that there is a scarcity of opportunity for enjoying. Oh, isn't that so true? Isn't that so true? You have no time to do anything except take care of your responsibilities as a grihasta. No time. And it's not a fault, it's a fact. And to attain the youthful condition with all material facilities, one has to undergo severe austerities and penances and become elevated to the heavenly planets. If one gets the opportunity of taking birth in a very rich or royal family, even then, in that condition, he is always anxious to maintain the status quo and prepare for the next life by performing various kinds of sacrifices and by distributing charity. Even in the royal condition of life, one is not only full of anxieties, oh yes, because of political administration, but he is also in anxiety over being elevated to heavenly planets. It is therefore very difficult to get out of the material entanglement, everyone. But somehow or other, if one is favored by you, that's Krishna, by your mercy only, he is given the opportunity to associate with a pure devotee. And who is the pure devotee? His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, living in sound. He reasons ill that thinks that Vaishnavas die. Wake up, spirit souls. People that don't come to the program don't understand this. They don't. That's why they don't come. This is the beginning point of liberation from the entanglement of material conditional life. My dear Lord, only by the association of pure devotees is one entrapped by your lordship, who is the controller of both the material and spiritual existences. You are the supreme goal of all pure devotees. And by association with pure devotees, one can develop his dormant love for you. Are you following this? Is everybody catching this? We're reading it. Is this compromise, bridge preaching? No, it's a fact. This is the way back to Godhead, back to home. Therefore, development of Krishna consciousness is the association of pure devotees and is the cause of liberation from this material entanglement. Very, very succinct, very clear, and easily understood by the bona fide disciples of Srila Prabhupada. So please, everyone, consider, if you're not initiated, to take up the path of devotional service with all enthusiasm and step up and decide that you want to be initiated as a Prabhupada disciple. Haribol. Did you like that, Rochisha, Devi Dasi? Was that good or what? It wasn't me. I just read.
Kunda.
It's, Muchakunda. See how Prabhupada's explaining everything so
Simple.
Brilliantly in his purports?
Directly.
But people think, oh, he's not very advanced. Go to the other so-called Gaudiya Math gurus and get initiated by them. Haribo. Okay, we're going to move on with our program. And I've got found I found these things in in my readings. And I thought, gee, this is going to make it easy for me for the next couple of weeks. I got so much nectar, diamonds to share with all of us. Haribol, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Let's go to the lecture by Srila Prabhupada next on our program. Rupa Goswami Prabhu, please.
Guru Sri Juta Padakamalang.
So, Mamo Vartmano Vartante means that just like on the top of, just like there are so many skyscraper buildings in America, 105 stories, I think that is the latest. So suppose you have to go to the topmost flat, there is staircase, so everyone is trying to go there. But someone has passed, say, 10 steps, another has passed, say, 50 steps, another 100 steps, but you have to complete, say, 2,000 steps. So, the staircase is the same, Mamo Bhatmanu Bhattant, because the aim is to go to the topmost flat. But the one who has passed 10 steps, he is lower than one who has passed 50 steps. And the one who has passed 50 steps is lower than who has passed 100 steps. So similarly, there are different processes, but all the processes are not the same. They are aiming at the same goal, karma, jnana, yoga, bhakti. But bhakti is the highest step. Because when you come to the platform of bhakti, then you can understand what is Krishna. Not by karma, jnana, yoga. That is not possible. You have tried, you are going towards that aim, but Krishna says, bhaktamam abhijana. He does not say by jnana, by karma, by yoga. No. That you cannot understand. You can go forward, steps. But if you want to know Krishna, then bhakti. Bhaktamam abhijana. Javanjachami. This is the path. Therefore, mamo vartmanu vartante means everyone is trying to come to me according to their capacity, ability. But one who actually wants to understand me, the simple process, just like this, the staircase is there, but not in this country, in European, American countries, side by side there is lift, elevator. So instead of going step by step to the highest flat, you take the help of this lift, you go immediately within a second. So if you take the lift of bhakti, then immediately you come in contact with Krishna directly. Instead of going by step by step by step. Why should you take? Therefore Krishna said, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam saranam. You simply surrender unto me. Your business is finished. Why should you labor so much, step by step by step by step?
Yeah, why should we labor step by step? Take the topmost elevator. Take the elevator to the top floor. And that's by becoming committed to spreading Srimad Bhagavatam, the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. And we have these beautiful books. And I'm hoping that many of you will contact me, because that was Prabhupada's mission, to preach the message of Lord Chaitanya. And through the Srimad Bhagavatam, which are the first books that he brought from India to America, these Delhi Bhagavatams, and we've reprinted them, and we're distributing them, and we have 2,000 sets, Krishna Katha. Not 2,000 right now. I think we've got distributed a few hundred sets for sure, maybe 300. So eventually they'll all go, they're prized treasures. So everybody hop on the bandwagon and decide how you want to get these books. Just contact us, of course, that's as easy as that. And figure out how you're going to distribute some sets to some conditioned souls that will really appreciate them and read them and become fixed up on the path back home, back to Godhead. So we're going to go to the next section of our program, which is the chanting of Jaya Radha Madhava by Srila Prabhupada. So chant along. And then the reading and discussion on Bhagavad Gita as it is with His Grace Yashodanandana Prabhu. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hari Bol.
Sai. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivas Adi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Sri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki jai, Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Navadvip Dham ki jai, Swami Ito Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Jamuna Mai ki jai, Tulasi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Swami Ito Bhaktivinoda ki jai. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. From Srimad Bhagavatam 1:1:1. Narayanam namaskritya. Narayanam namaskritya. Naram cheva narottamam. Naram cheva narottamam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayat. Tato Jayam Mudirayat. One should utter the means of conquest, Srimad Bhagavatam and Srimad Bhagavad Gita, after offering respectful obeisances, 1, to the personality of Godhead Narayana, 2, to the Narayana Rishi, who is the supermost human being, 3, to the Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, then 4, to Srila Vyasadeva, the author, from Srimad Bhagavatam 1-4. Welcome everyone to this reading and discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. This reading in class is being conducted on the basis of the original 1972 Macmillan edition, the non-edited, non-adulterated version. And as it was introduced by Srila Prabhupada in early 1966, we will read a few introductory verses that were provided by His Divine Grace Himself. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnanam Janashalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet? Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagar Jatam Sahaguna Raghunatan Anvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahaguna Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master, and unto the feet of all Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami, along with his elder brother, Sanatana Goswami, as well as Raghunath Dasa and Raghunath Bhatta, Gopala Bhatta, and Srila Jiva Goswami. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, along with Advaita Acharya, Gadadhar, Srivas, and other associates. I offer my respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna, along with their associates Sri Lalita and Vishaka. E Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Oh, my dear Krishna, you are the friend of the distress and the source of creation. You are the master of the gopis and the lover of Radharani. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. I offer my respects to Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like molten gold, and who is the queen of Vrindavana. You are the daughter of King Vrishabhanu, and you are very dear to Lord Krishna. Sri Krishna Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and who are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Let us proceed with our verse for today. It should be noted that all synonyms, translations, and purports are by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for the Krishna Consciousness, also known as the Krishna Consciousness Movement. Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 13, text 27. Yavat sanjayate kinchit sattvam stavara jangamam kshetra kshetrajna samyogat tad vidhi bharatarushabha. Yavat, whatever, sanjayate, takes place, kinchit, anything, sattvam, existence, stavara, not moving, jangamam, moving, kshetra, the body, kshetrajna, knower of the body, samyogat, union between, tadvidhi, you must know it, Bharatarashabha, O chief of the Bharatas, translation by Srila Prabhupada. O chief of the Bharatas, whatever you see in existence, both moving and unmoving, is only the combination of the field of activities and the knower of the field. Purport by His Divine Grace. Both material nature and the living entity, which were existing before the creation of the cosmos, are explained in this verse. Whatever is created is but a combination of the living entity and material nature. There are many manifestations like trees, mountains, and hills, which are not moving. And there are many existences which are moving. And all of them are but combinations of material nature and superior nature, the living entity. Without the touch of the superior nature, the living entity, nothing can grow. Therefore, the relationship between matter and nature is eternally going on. And this combination is affected by the Supreme Lord. Therefore, he is the controller of both the superior and inferior nature. The material nature is created by him, and the superior nature is placed in this material nature. And thus, all these activities and manifestations take place. Om Jnana Timirhandasya Jnanan Janashalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasme Shigurabhe Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shanyavadi Paschatyadesatarine Bhakti Siddhanta Shishyaya Bhakti Vedanta Namine Prasannaya Prashantaya Tasme Shigurave Namaha Bhagavad Vandana Kadyam Guru Vandana Purvakam Kshiram Sarkara Yuktam Kadatehi Visheshataham Adadana Strinam Danteridam Yache Punaha Punaha Srimadrupa Padam Bhoja Dulisham Janma Janmani Amsho Bhagavatosmyaham Sadadasu Asmi Sarabata Tat Kripa Pikshako Nityam Tat Prishta Shatakaromisvam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Lord Krishna in this specific verse is mentioning the position of the living entity, the position of the material nature, and the relationship between both. Now, this is very important. And why does Lord Krishna mentions this same topic in so many different angles throughout the Bhagavad Gita? It is not very complicated, because there is a class of philosophers, specifically the Advaitins or the Mayavadis, who do not comprehend Krishna's teaching. They have invented various interpretations to claim that the living entities and the Supreme Brahman are the same, that right now they're just temporarily in Maya, and when they're liberated, they become one. This philosophy has been refuted by Krishna himself in the Bhagavad Gita. When we look at Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text number 12, Krishna explains that the living entity is always separate from him. Nacheva nabhavishyamaha sarve vayam mataparam. Neither you nor all their kings, all these kings on the battlefield, will ever lose their individuality. Here's the text. Natvevaham jatunasam natvam neme janadipaha nacheva nabhavishyamaha sarve vayam mataparam. Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. This is very important. We see Srila Prabhupada throughout his various lectures and writings is quoting a verse from the Katha Upanishad, which I'm sure many of you know, Nitya Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam eko bahunam yuvidadati kaman, tamatmastam yenu pasyanti dhiras, tesam santihi sasvati netaresham. Prophet explains, the same Vedic truth given to Arjuna is given to all persons in the world who pose themselves as very learned, but factually have but a poor fund of knowledge. The Lord says clearly that he himself, Arjuna, and all the kings who are assembled on the battlefield are eternally individual beings, and that the Lord is eternally the maintainer of the individual living entities, both in their condition as well as in their liberated situations. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the supreme individual person, and Arjuna, the Lord's eternal associates, and all the kings assembled there are individual eternal persons. It is not that they did not exist as individuals in the past, and it is not that they will not remain eternal persons. Their individuality existed in the past, and their individuality will continue in the future without interruption. Therefore, there is no cause for lamentation for anyone. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a very interesting verse which is given explaining the position of this Mayavadi philosophy. Mayavadam asat shastram prachannam bodhamuchyate mayeva kalpitam devi kalo brahmana rupina. This is a verse cited from the Padma Purana, where Srila Prabhupada explains that Lord Shiva was having a conversation with Parvati, his wife, explaining that this Mayavada philosophy is basically covered Buddhism. Prachannam bhaudamuchyate. Mayeva, and he says, I will come in the age of Kali Yuga under the guise of a Brahmana to spread these asat shastra. Asat shastra would have been false scriptures, false arguments. That is why all the great Vaishnavacharyas, specifically Madhva and Ramanuja and their numerous followers, are very strong in defeating these nonsense Mayavad impersonalist explanations. There's a very interesting conversation one time in a letter Prabhupada wrote, explaining that I'm the only one in India who is criticizing the impersonalists and the Mayavadis. As some of you know, in India, it is very prominent. Very, very prominent. Let's see what Neil Sharma Prabhu had. Okay, what is this here? Here we go. An appropriate Prabhupada explains, the unauthorized dry speculators are offenders at the lotus feet of the Lord Sri Krishna because they distort the purports of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam to mislead the public and prepare a direct path to the hell known as Andhata Mishra. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 16:20, such envious speculators are without knowledge and are surely condemned life after life. They unnecessarily take shelter of Sripad Shankaracharya, but he was not so drastic as to commit an offense at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. According to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sripad Shankaracharya preached the Mayavad philosophy for a particular purpose. Such a philosophy was necessary to defeat the Buddhist philosophy of the non-existence of the spirit soul, but it was never meant for perpetual acceptance. It was an emergency. Thus, Lord Krishna was accepted by Shankaracharya as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In his commentation on Bhagavad Gita, since he was a great devotee of Lord Krishna, he did not dare write any commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam because that would have been a direct offense at the lotus feet of the Lord. But later speculators in the name of Mayavad philosophy unnecessarily make their commentary on the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam chapter 2, Canto 2, Chapter 9, 33 to 36, without any bona fide intent. Now, this is very important because we see even nowadays on the internet, there's all kinds of swamis and yogis and so-called scholars presenting so many different interpretations on Bhagavad Gita. Excuse me. Why are they doing that? Because they're bewildered. When we study the writings of Shankaracharya, for example, he wrote that famous song, the Bhaja Govinda song, in which he chastises his followers for simply being absorbed in grammatical study. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam mudhamate, samprapte sannite kale nahi nahi rakshati dukhrin karane. That you are wasting so much time with your grammatical argumentation and grammatical combinations. Just worship Govinda. We had a very interesting exchange in South India in Madurai one time in 1972, where one Mayavadi scholar with his big tilak across, his basma, Tripundra, came to visit us to argue. And Guru Kripa immediately challenged him and said, what is that on your head? What is that mud on your head? Why you're wearing this kind of tilak? That is not proper tilak. And he told this person, after we defeat you, you should put this tilak, the Vaishnav tilak, Urdhva Pundra. So we argued with him for about 10, 15 minutes, and Guru Kripa very nicely defeated him with all kinds of beautiful verses from Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Brahma Samhita, Katha Upanishad. And the next day, this fellow came over. The next day, the fellow came over and he did put the Vaishnav tilak. Very interesting. Let's put that back on the screen, Prabhu, Nil Shyama Prabhu. Very interesting purport here from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 24, Text 18. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, there are 12 great authorities in preaching God consciousness. The name Shambhu means Lord Shiva. His disciplic succession is also known as the Vishnu Swami Sampradaya. And the current Vishnu Swami Sampradaya is also known as the Vallabha Sampradaya. The current Brahma Sampradaya is known as the Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Even though Lord Shiva appeared to preach Mayavada philosophy, at the end of his pastime in the form of Shankaracharya, he preached the Vaishnava philosophy, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam mudhamate. He stressed worshiping Lord Krishna or Govinda 3 times in this verse, and especially warned his followers that they could not possibly achieve deliverance or mukti simply by word jugglery and grammatical puzzles. If one is actually serious to attain mukti, he must worship Lord Krishna. That is Srila Shankaracharya's last instruction. Not only that, but Shankaracharya also wrote a Jagannathastakam, a Yamunastakam, and various. He also wrote a prayer to Lord Nishingadev called Narasingha Kara Avalamba Stotram. So Prabhupada in some places explained he was a Vaishnava in disguise, but at particular time, in order to defeat the impersonalist Buddhist philosophy, he engaged in these various commentaries. We will leave it at that. Just want to make a quick announcement here. Vyasa Puja is coming up very soon on the August 17th, and the deadline for our offerings is on August 12th. It's about 10 days. Any one of you who would like to submit an offering, you can either send it to myself or Vishwakarma Prabhu, and we will make sure that it gets published in our electronic submission for Vyasa Puja. Thank you very much. Back to you in the studio. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. It's very revealing to understand the difference between impersonalism and personalism. And the Mayavadi philosophy, they deny the personal aspect of the Supreme Lord, they say it's just energy or light. Brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabhyate. They're looking at Brahman as perfection. But this is a mistake. And Lord Chaitanya specifically, Yashodanandana Prabhu, as you know, came to teach Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the essence of the Vedic literature. It is the cream from the milk of knowledge. And I wanted to go to, while you were speaking, I was thinking of this beautiful verse, Nigama kalpa taror galitam palam, Shuka mukhad amritam draba samyutam, Privata bhagavatam rasam alayam, Mahu aho rasika bubi ba sukaha. O expert and thoughtful men, please know it that Srimad Bhagavatam is the mature fruit of the desire tree of the Vedic literatures, and it is emanated from the lips of Sri Sukadeva Goswami. For this is the nectarian fruit that has become more tasteful, although it is already swallowable nectarian juice, which is relished by all up to those who are liberated souls. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In the previous two shlokas, it has been definitively proved that Srimad Bhagavatam is the sublime literature above all other Vedic literatures, because it is transcendental to all prescribed mundane activities and superior to all mundane knowledge. Just like people are writing books. I'm going to stay on that verse, by the way, or purport. They're writing books, but it's useless knowledge. When you die, they take all of your books and they throw them in the garbage, or they give them to Value Village and they can distribute them. But they're useless, like newspapers, Prabhupada said. You get a newspaper, you read it, and then you throw it in the garbage. You do not discard the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam ever. Our books are these books that we have, by the way. They're treasures, transcendental treasures. And people that will get them will appreciate them their whole lifetime and pass them down to their family members. It is in this sloka, it is stressed herein that Srimad Bhagavatam is not only superior in terms of its text, but it is the ripened fruit of all Vedic literature. In other words, it's the cream of all Vedic knowledge, all considering and all these important points, hearing the and submissive oral reception of the transcendental message of this great literature is definitely essential. With great respect and attention, one should receive the message and lessons imparted by the Srimad Bhagavatam. And Nilesh, I want to go to the last paragraph in this verse. The last paragraph, the purport, just so we can get an essence. One should conclude, the conclusion is, okay, therefore, that a serious student of rasa may receive the message of Bhagavatam constantly in the line of the chain of disciplic succession from Srila Sukadeva Goswami, who describes the Bhagavatam from the very beginning of the scripture and not whimsically to satisfy the mundaner who has very little knowledge in the transcendental science. Srimad Bhagavatam is so carefully presented that a sincere and serious student can at once have the ripened fruit of the Vedic knowledge simply by drinking the nectarian juice from the mouth of Shukadeva Goswami, or his bona fide representative. And that bona fide representative is His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So this is a great opportunity for everyone to take advantage of the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam from the bona fide source. And we're especially honored to have this service of being able to provide the new printing of the Srimad Bhagavatam from Srila Prabhupada when he brought it from India in the boat, Jaladuta, in the trunks that he saw carefully taken off the boat and brought on the land. And this book distribution, that program that he was, by the way, Yashodanandana Prabhu, as you know, he was selling the Bhagavatams prior to his departure from India. Oh yes. He had the Back to Godhead magazine. He had his other essays, and he had the Srimad Bhagavatams that he gloriously produced and was disseminating, because that is the mission of Lord Chaitanya. That God himself had this mission to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam, because the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Supreme Lord are non-different. Think about that. They're non-different. And Prabhupada promoted that. Even if a person just got a Srimad Bhagavatam in their house, they would be blessed, because the Lord had manifested himself in Srimad Bhagavatam. The name and the form are non-different. Yes, this is transcendental knowledge. And anything else is misleading, cover up. And we have a situation, Yashodanandana Prabhu, that Srila Prabhupada had spoken how he wanted his mission to continue to grow and expand after his departure. But somehow or other, cover up and missing information was never provided to the devotees that were following his mission. What a sin, what an offense. And we're going to move to this next section of our program, which is called the missing tapes, the missing information. It sounds like the US government, doesn't it? All this missing information, or the deleting of 33,000 emails by Hillary Clinton, and they're going, oh, it was just personal. Yeah, sure. So let's move forward with Yashodanandana Prabhu and his section called Missing, the Missing Points or Missing Tapes.
So Missing Pieces in the Puzzle.
Okay.
This was a paper compiled by several devotees in Badger, California in 1993. And basically it raises a lot of questions about events that took place in 1977 and in 1978 with regards to documentation and statements which were spoken by Srila Prabhupada. We are reading from page number 11, point number 10. Point number 9, we were reading, why did Rabindranath Swarup Das admit in one of his 1985 papers that he had to obtain a copy of the appointment tape from unauthorized sources? Question number 10, why could he not obtain a copy of it from authorized sources? Point number 11, why did the so-called authorized sources conceal the so-called appointment tape for so long? Question number 12, why did the GBC have to announce the so-called appointment of 11 pure devotee Diksha Gurus after the departure of Srila Prabhupada in November of 1977? Question number 13, why is it that all of the other contextual conversations relevant to the so-called appointment were hidden from the rest of the entire society for almost 13 years after the departure of Srila Prabhupada in 1977. Question number 14. Why was the publication of Srila Prabhupada's letters suppressed for many years after the letters had been gathered and compiled? Question number 15. Which previous guru or bona fide acharya has ever suppressed the instruction of letters of his guru? Question number 16. Why are the suppressors of Srila Prabhupada's letter trying to quote from these letters to support their philosophy? Question number 17. Why did an ISKCON guru from Southern California threaten a devotee to return Srila Prabhupada's letters, or he would be dead meat on the hook? Question number 18. Why did Satsvarupa Goswami admit that he had not heard the July 7th Ritvik nomination tape for years? Question 19. Why did the same sannyasi misquote Srila Prabhupada's actual and exact words on the May 28, 1977 so-called appointment tape in his interpretation published in the Lilamrita? Question number 20. Why do some of the second wave of ISKCON gurus admit that there was no guru appointment, while others have stated and maintained that there was a guru appointment? Question number 21. Why was the actual chronology of Srila Prabhupada's statements in 1977 with regards to initiation misunderstood by key member of the GBC for many years? Question number 22. Why were key sections of the May 28, 1977 so-called appointment tape spliced from the original release version of the audio tape, and who spliced it? Question number 23. Why was Srila Prabhupada's order on May 27, 1977 to two leading GBC men instructed them that they should be vigilant to prevent anyone from jumping to be gurus suppressed and not discussed? Question number 24. Why was the May 28, 1977 so-called appointment tape studies independently out of context of this ominous warning of Srila Prabhupada on May 27, 1977? Question number 25. Why were selected statements taken out of context, advertised as the final order of Srila Prabhupada regarding initiations in GBC publications and BTD magazine? We'll leave it at that for now, but it should be noted that since 1977, there's been no clear, credible answer to all of these questions. Back to you in the studio. To whom it may concern.
Yeah, look, these are good whys. Why? So lots of questions, no answers. And the answer is this. I'll give you the answer. This is called misinformation and cover-up. That's why. And it is calculated by some people, whoever they are, to create a business opportunity for themselves called the guru business. They don't want to answer the questions because it will reveal the facts, how Srila Prabhupada wanted this movement to run, and they won't do it. It's very interesting, Prabhu, Yashodanandana Prabhu. It's very interesting how there's a parallel situation that we're seeing right now for those of you who are not in Canada or America, we're saturated with, American news here. But I think a lot of people around the world do get the news, but not as much as we do here in this part of the world. But there's an interesting parallel here between Barack Obama, specifically. The story is coming out that he created this Russia hoax. Oh, yeah. And he did it for political reasons. And not only did he present a false document, it was supported by the media. They have all these media sources, and I saw a video of it, and there was thousands of media representatives saying that this was a genuine hoax. And now, by the way, it's interesting to note as well that there's a devotee in the US government, Tulsi Gabbard. This lady has a spiritual name, Tulsi. Just think, all these people all over that country, they're chanting the glories of Tulsi Devi. But at any rate, she brought out this report the last few weeks of this hoax, this fraudulent misrepresentation of information. And just see, the same technique has been used in the ISKCON group to mislead people on how to follow the disciplic succession of Srila Prabhupada's mission without confusion. Because that's all that's happened now. There's total confusion, misrepresentation, and bewilderment that exists because of the methodical, deviant behavior of our God brothers. And if people think that that isn't a fact, they're naive, and they don't want to listen because they could possibly be brainwashed by these people. And that brainwashing is a serious matter. You know, I had an experience of dealing with Ted Patrick. I debated him at University of Toronto. And there was an organization in Canada called COMA, Council on Mind Abuse, COMA. And they were attacking us. They were saying, these Hare Krishna people, they brainwash people by food deprivation. They don't allow them to eat meat. Oh, wow. Of course, nowadays that wouldn't be accepted, but back in the 70s, being a vegetarian was somewhat radical. Being a vegetarian is radical. But they said, oh, it's the lack of protein. Therefore, these people have no strength, mental strength. Then they said, well, they make the members get up early in the morning. Sleep deprivation. Oh, they forgot to mention that we all went to bed at 9:30 in the evening, 10 o'clock, and got up at 4. So that's 6 hours. That's a recommended amount of sleep for a regular human, depending on your age. Yeah, 6 hours. Oh no, it's sleep deprivation. And they make you repeat the same mantra over and over again. Oh yeah. They make you chant minimum amount of time. You're just hypnotized. And Patrick would say, he said to me directly, and then you become hypnotized. You're hypnotized. Oh yeah, brainwashing. That's what they said. You chant Hare Krishna, you eat prasadam, and you get up early and worship the Lord in the temple, you're hypnotized. So this is what has gone on, not only from Ted Patrick and coma, but it's gone on from our God brothers. Yes, who have hypnotized their so-called followers and disciples to believe that there is no clear instruction from Prabhupada how he wanted his movement to operate after his departure. And they've manipulated people to become their disciples and to take their money and carry on with this nonsense. And this is going on. So thank you for that section. There's a lot of whys there, everyone. And hopefully we'll have that booklet available, eh, Yashoda? We're putting it up online, Prabhu? Yashoda, are we putting the book up online, or is it, are we going to publish it?
The little booklet that we just read from?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
We're going to have to retype it because it has to be retyped and be re-edited properly.
Okay, we have a lot of interest in getting it, our membership, so we'll put that on our things to do list, everyone. And we'll march forward with more information to help everybody properly take up the process of Bhakti Yoga without any confusion. And what we're going to do next in our program is we're going to go to another explanation of the philosophy by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. We have a new program. We're filling it up with more Prabhupada nectar, as you can see, and japa, and readings from the Krishna book, and readings from the Shastras. And it's just a nectar opportunity for us, at least 6 hours a week, 2 hours and 3 classes a week. We call it the PhD of Bhakti Yoga. Yes. And take advantage of it. Our program is evolving. It's getting better because we're filling the airwaves with transcendental nectar from His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, without adulteration, without editing, without being changed. So let's roll. Rupa Goswami, can you prepare the video? And we'll roll this next section of the video for everyone to enjoy the nectar of Srila Prabhupada's preaching. Haribo.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vandeham Sri Guru Padakamalam. It doesn't matter whether it is rich body or a poor body. Everyone has to undergo the threefold miserable condition of life. When typhoid is there, it does not discriminate that here is a rich body, I shall give him less pain. No. When the typhoid is there, either your body is rich body or poor body, you have to suffer the same pain. When you are within the womb of your mother, you have to suffer the same pain. Either you become in the queen's womb or in the cobbler's wife's womb. That packed up situation. They do not know. Janma Mrityu Jara. There are so many sufferings in the process of birth. There are so many sufferings in the process of birth and death and old age. A rich man or poor man, when we are old, we have to suffer so many invalidity. Similarly, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, Jara and Vyadhi and Mrityu. So, we are not conscious about the suffering position of this material body. Shastra says, don't accept again any material body. Nasadu manne. This is not good that you are repeatedly getting this material body. Nasadu manne jato atmano Atmana, the soul, is encased in this material body. Tato Atmanayam, asannapi, all the temporary are without this body. Klesado, asadi, how? So, if we want to stop this miserable condition of getting another material body, then we must know what is karma, what is bikarma. That is Krishna's proposal. Karmanopi bodhabbam, bodhabbam cha bikarmana. Akarmanasta bodhabbam. Akarmana means there is no reaction. Reaction. Karma, if you do nice work, it has got reaction. It has nice body, nice education, nice family, nice riches. This is also nice. We take it as nice. We want to go to the heavenly planet. But we do not know that even in the heavenly planet, there is the Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. Therefore Krishna does not recommend that you go to the heavenly body. He says, Abrahma Bhuvana Lokan Punaravartino Arjuna. Even if we go to the Brahma Loka, still the repetition of birth and Jadgatyana Nivartanti Tadhama Paramam. Jadgatyana Nivartanti. But we do not know that there is a Dhamma. If you somehow or other, if we can promote ourselves to that Dhamma, then no Nivartanti, Jadgatyana Nivartanti Tadhama Paramam. In another place it is Tattadi Hang Punarjanma Naiti Mameti. So people have no information that Krishna, as the Supreme Lord, He has got His place and anyone can go. How one can go? Janti deva brata devan pitrin janti pitri brata bhuteja janti bhutani madjajinopi janti ma. If one becomes devoted to my worship, my business, bhakti yoga, he comes to me. In another place he says, bhaktamam abhijanati javanjasta. Therefore our only business is to understand Krishna. Jagyarthe karma. This is akarma. Here it is said. Akarmana api bodhabhyam, akarmanasta bodhabhyam. Akarma means without reaction. Yet, if we act for our sense gratification, the reaction is just like a soldier is killing, is getting gold medal. The same soldier, when comes home, if he kills one man, he's hanged. Why? He can say in the court, sir, when I was fighting in the battlefield, I killed so many, I got gold medal. And why you are hanging me just now? Because you have done for your own sense gratification. And that you did for government's sense. Therefore, any karma, if you do it for Krishna's satisfaction, that is akarma. It has no reaction. But if you do anything for your own sense gratification, you will have to suffer the resultant action, good or bad. Therefore Krishna says, karmanopi bodhabbam bodhabbam cha vikarmana akarmanascha bodhabbam gahana karmana. It is very difficult to understand what kind of action you should do. Therefore, we have to take direction from Krishna, from the Shastra, from Guru. Then our life will be successful. Thank you very much.
The gold medal, Yashodanandana, the gold medal. If you act according to the instructions of the military, you can kill so many people and you get a gold medal, Prabhupada says. But if you go and kill somebody on your own, you'll get hung. You'll be killed. So this is a wonderful analogy for us to follow, that if we take our money and spend it on sense gratification, then we'll become entangled in the results of our actions. But if we take our same Lakshmi and use it in Krishna's service, then it'll be a source of liberation. So it's all a matter of engaging our talents, our abilities in the service, of the Lord. And I wanted to, just before we move forward, mention Neil Sharma, our devotee in San Francisco, Danishta Devi Dasi, who is crippled, as Prabhupada was speaking here. And at the beginning of the class, I read that section from Muchakunda. So the prayers to Lord Krishna, and you could see the connection, wonderful connection between that and Prabhupada speaking in the class. But she's crippled, yes. She's not a rich lady. No, not at all. In fact, we make special arrangements for her to get the books that she is distributing. And but she's very prompt in paying for them. She immediately starts going out and displaying them in the back of her Uber car, which she drives every day to get money to support herself. She's a single lady. She's around 70 years of age. But despite her age, despite her physical discomforts, she's pushing forward with the distribution of Srimad Bhagavatam according to Prabhupada's wish and Lord Chaitanya's wish. And guess what we're going to do? She has the gold medal of achievement for distributing the Srimad Bhagavatam at the Prabhupada Disciples Association group. Yes. And thank you, Mother Danishta. And you're an example of great service for all of us, and we should be humbled by your service and decide how we can do better. So thank you very much for that. We really appreciate it. And the most important thing, everyone, what is the most important thing you should do every day? I'm going to give the answer. I'm going to give the question. I'm giving the answer. I'm sorry. The most important thing is you have to chant your rounds. Yes. You know, it's so important. What did Prabhupada say, Nilesh, about your rounds? He said, if you don't chant your 16 rounds in one day, say you owe 4 rounds, the next day you should chant them to make it up, but don't miss your rounds. Just see how important they are. And along with the chanting of Hare Krishna, you should memorize the 10 offenses. And that's why we have this section. And we're going to move to that. Rupa Goswami, if you could put up on the screen the 10 offenses, we'll all repeat them while we hear your friend speak them in this next section of our program, the 10 offenses. Hare Krishna.
Nectar of Devotion, Chapter 8, Offenses to be Avoided. The offenses against the chanting of the holy name are as follows. First, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Second, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. Sometimes the atheistic class of men take it that any demigod is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. But one who is a devotee knows that no demigod, however great he may be, is independently as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, if someone thinks that he can chant Kali, Kali or Durga, Durga, and it is the same as Hare Krishna, that is the greatest offense. Third, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Fourth, to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version. Fifth, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. Sixth, to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord. Seventh, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord. Because by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can be freed from all kinds of sinful reactions. It should not be taken that one may continue to act sinfully and after that chant Hare Krishna to neutralize his sins. Such a dangerous mentality is very offensive and should be avoided. 8. to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities. Karma Kanda. Ninth, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Anyone can take part in chanting the holy name of the Lord, but in the beginning one should not be instructed about the transcendental potency of the Lord. Those who are too sinful cannot appreciate the transcendental glories of the Lord, and therefore it is better not to instruct them in this matter. 10th, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names, and to maintain material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success.
Okay, we're going to move to our next section. And we're going to chant one round of japa together, okay, after that reading of the offenses. And then we'll move forward with the other sections, Rupa. So please bring up the one round.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Srivasadi Gaur Bhakti. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Let
Rama,
us
Hare
offer
Hare,
our
Krishna
respectful
Krishna,
obeisances
Hare
Pasindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances. We all offer our respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like these are trees, and we're full of compassion for the fallen souls. Thanks everybody for participating in this reading and discussion. Thanks Vishwakarma Prabhu in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Rupa Goswami Prabhu in Mumbai, India. Vijay Pandit Prabhu in Oroville with Gopika, his good wife. Bhaktin Veronica in Italy. Bhaktin Varadharani, or whoever your name is, and that beautiful pom-pom. Rochisa Mataji dans la belle province de Québec, dans les Laurentides. Neil Sharma Prabhu in Florida with your very timely quotations. Pierangelo in Switzerland. Maxim in Belarus. Thank you. And Vinay Prabhu in South India, Viprahita Prabhu in Georgia, Forest Temple with the beautiful Prabhupada hats, Michael Dillon in Yuba City, California, Bhakta Roy in Mississippi, and everybody who participated. Thank you very much for attending. Shiv Narayana Prabhu and his good wife in Japan, and everybody. Please join us again tomorrow morning for Srimad Bhagavatam class, another lively program. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Na Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Bala Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Bala Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Bala Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama